I've always been curious about these all-terrain MBS longboard wheels. Obviously, I bought them and tested them in various conditions. The first thing that I briefly want to cover are the specs. They're 100mm wheels, so they're massive compared to your normal longboard wheels. If you put these things on like a regular top-mounted deck, you're definitely gonna need thick riser pads, probably something like an inch or so. Keep in mind that because these wheels are so large, they weigh a lot more than your average wheel. They're right around 13.6 ounces. So it's definitely gonna add some weight to your setup, and it's just not gonna make it too enjoyable to carry around for longer distances. Now, just by looking at online photos of these things, I thought they were gonna be a lot harder. I don't know why, because they clearly stated that they're 78A on their product page. I did end up measuring them with my meter, and I was consistently getting anywhere from 80 to 82A. So it's close, but I did see also a lot of people mentioning in the reviews of these things that they felt like they were harder than 78A, and I kind of do feel the same way. Okay, so these are pretty much being marketed as all-terrain wheels, and when you hear that, or when I hear that, I automatically think that you can take these off-road on a dirt trail, and that's really not the case. I tested them on as many riding conditions as I could think of. Starting with dirt trails, you couldn't do it unless the dirt was super compact. So I guess the bottom line here is that if you're thinking about getting these wheels to go on dirt trails that are a little on the mushier side, I would not recommend these. In my experience with them, I pretty much would just sink into the dirt, and it was pretty much impossible to pick up any sort of momentum. Now, the conditions where these wheels really thrived were in compact, harder surfaces. So stuff like gravel roads, rougher asphalt that had rocks and sticks, really had no issues riding on those conditions. My favorite thing to do with these was to start on pavement, pick up some speed, then briefly go off road and throw a slide, and before losing momentum, transition back onto the pavement. That's where they seem to really thrive. I think they also would make a lot of sense if you're riding on rough cobblestone, or if you have like a bike dirt pump track where the dirt is super compact. Now, as far as traction goes for these wheels, because I think they're a little harder than 78A, they were easy to slide out, especially if there was some gravel on the pavement. If you're just cruising casually, you're not gonna have any issues with these things sliding out. The other reason why I think they're pretty easy to slide out if you want them to is because if you look at the wheels, it looks like there's less of a contact patch. The pattern seems to like dive down towards the edges, if that makes any sense. If I had to just like simplify my description of these based on my experience, I would say that they're more so of just like a crossbreed of an actual all-terrain tire wheel and a regular wheel, closer to like a regular longboard wheel. And I also was thinking, like, as far as functionality goes, these seem to fit similarly into a market like shark wheels do, where they're not gonna do well on like full-blown off-road scenarios, but it fits like a nice in-between. I do have to say though that the urethane they're made of, it seems to be of high quality. Like, I wasn't expecting them to be like this. So who do I think these wheels are best for? Well, I would say that if you're someone who's constantly riding in rougher conditions, then these might make sense. And you also don't mind that these are gonna make your setup a lot heavier than normal. I just wanted to share my experience on these wheels so that it could just paint a better picture than just reading an Amazon review. So I hope this helped you guys out. If you have experience with these wheels, definitely drop a comment below to let everyone know your thoughts. It's super helpful for someone who's thinking about getting them but are kind of like on the edge. And definitely drop a like if you've made it this far. Helps our channel out a ton. But anyway, guys, I'll see you in another video later. So I bought these all-terrain